Hi, welcome to College Connection. My name is May Hanna and I'm your host, and this is a show about UC Claremont College and all the great things that are happening at the University of Cincinnati and at the regional campus. So welcome again to our show. I have a guest today who just joined the college, Dana Parker. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you.
So we're really happy to have you at the college, our new Director of Development. And tell us a little bit about what a Director of Development does.
A Director of Development is in charge of making sure that the community is involved in campus, and that would be our community members as well as officials, business owners, and just making sure that everyone has a relationship with our college and understands what our mission is, and working together to develop whatever projects are on campus.
Right. So we're really happy that you joined us in January.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not new to you. You've worked in fundraising in the past, which is a big part of your job.
Right.
But you really came to us from education. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. I was a teacher for 15 years in public education as a special education teacher. And through working with students that had special needs, I really did develop a feeling for working with community and helping other people. Mm-hmm. And so from that aspect of the position, I gained kind of a knowledge on working and through fundraising to raise money to help with students first inside mm-hmm. of our classrooms, students that had needs. Worked with them, raised money to do certain projects, and that allowed me to get more involved with nonprofit work and start my own foundation for cancer, and we are successful in raising money for cancer, and so that allowed me to apply for this job and obtain it.
Well, that's great. We're really happy to have you at the campus. I know you bring a fresh new perspective in this job. So it's been sort of a whirlwind for you, like
yes.
coming onto campus and learning
yes.
all about UC Claremont College and how it fits in the community. What are some of your first impressions?
First of all, we have a beautiful campus. So if you have not come out to Claremont campus, you need to take a drive. It is beautiful. Mm-hmm. It really is. And I've only ever seen it in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. And it is beautiful just coming into the winter and driving up to campus. I was very surprised at how large the campus is. Mm-hmm. I just assumed we were a technical community college with a one building kind of feel. And mm-hmm. we have a campus feel where there's students walking around, and the faculty and staff are amazing. So the invitation of coming onto campus has been wonderful.
That's great.
And, being out in the community and talking to individuals, it's been a very good welcome. I'm excited to be there, so.
That's great. And you'll
yeah.
love it in the spring and the summer. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely beautiful at that time, too, when it gets really green, and so something
yeah.
for you to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was surprised at how many projects and all the classes that are offered and the student life that is on campus. That really did surprise me.
Right.
For being in Claremont, so.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
So we're heading into spring right now, and
mm-hmm.
so what are some of the initiatives that you have?
For the spring, we have a big scholarship push for people to raise money to help our students pay for college. Mm-hmm. If you did not know, the average student has $27,000 worth of debt when they graduate from college. And that's a huge expense to our young people to go out into the workforce. Mm-hmm. And so we are doing a push for scholarships. We will be having a scholarship 5K run in September, and I welcome all of you to come out and participate in that. It will be probably the second week of September, and we raised around $5,000 for scholarships last year. So that is a huge event. We're hoping to strategically get more community members involved and have a walk where families can come out and enjoy our campus as well as raise money for scholarships. And also a big push is to get our alumni involved. So if you are a UC alumni and you're watching this program, please contact me. Get on our website. You can find information about me. And then there's an alumni wine tasting that will happen April 12th, and you are welcome to join that. It is open to the public. Mm-hmm. And we have that on campus as well in our nice art gallery. So those are two ways that the community can get involved immediately. And those are really two big initiatives, is to finish out the year. We raised $1 billion with our Proudly Cincinnati campaign, and so just to finish that out strong would be my goal.
That's great. I know for you, all of this is new too, but the alumni wine tasting is a really fun event when we see alums come back on campus, and so you'll enjoy that quite a bit. And for those alums that haven't been back on campus, it is a great opportunity for them to come back and take a walk on campus and that sort of thing. So, as far as your background, you graduated from
Bowling Green State University.
As did
Go
I.
Falcons!
Even though we're working at UC, we're both BG alums, so we have that in
we
common.
Are. Yes.
So,
yeah. And I have not. I know you were just visiting campus just last weekend, and I remember it was so cold there. So
yeah,
I'm sure you wrapped up and bundled up because it is cold at BG.
It's always cold there.
It is always cold there. Yes. So that's where I went to, and I grew up in the Findlay area. So I always, all my experiences came from up north in Findlay and Lake Erie kind of area. So this is, I've been in Cincinnati for around 10 years. And so I am still learning the city, and that's kind of nice because I don't have any, it's all fresh. Everything in the community is fresh and meeting people. And so it's kind of nice to experience it for the first time.
Absolutely. Good, fresh perspective.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
well, that's wonderful. I know that you also have a master's degree as well.
Yes. In teaching. I have a master's degree in teaching.
Okay.
And I pursued that, about 7 years ago I obtained that. So I have that, and then, of course, I have my bachelor's in education. And so the qualifications I have for this is I did found my own nonprofit organization and, set on this path through that experience.
But it's been a nice tie-in because you have worked in education for a long time. And so that's really, I think that's actually been a huge benefit to you.
I think so too, because, as a director of development, you not only have to understand how to work with community members and local corporations, but to understand what education truly is and what the faculty need and what they need in their classrooms, and understanding what a student needs is a huge benefit that I have, because I have seen it on both ends of the spectrum. And to be able to merge that together, I'm enjoying it. Every minute I'm enjoying it. And I think that it's something I can offer to our college. So
that's fantastic. So as far as student needs go, I know a lot of folks that may be watching may not really understand our students. And so our student population is pretty split. It's a little more traditional student, and by traditional, I mean 18-year-olds coming out of college, or high school, I should say, coming right into college. And then the non-traditional students are those who've taken 5 or more years off and then have come back. What are the biggest needs that you see with those students?
I see the biggest need is really time management and the expense of college. A lot of our students are working full-time jobs. A lot of our students are single parents. And in order to incorporate not only time to be on campus, it's our job to offer the flexible classes for them to be able to reach out and be on campus, but also to alleviate any financial burden that they have. And I know that that's, when I meet students, that is their biggest fear, is that they're going to begin a program and not be able to continue with it. And the one way to help the most is to participate in scholarships, and a lot of our scholarships are book scholarships where $500 pays for books for an entire year for a student, which is a nice benefit for them. So I think it's the financial burden, but also we have to be flexible as a campus to design classes where we can meet the needs of full-time working single parents and even the younger 18-year-old traditional student.
Right. I think the one thing that you mentioned with the $500 book scholarship, I think sometimes when folks hear that, I think they don't realize that they don't have to endow a scholarship and make a $25,000 gift, which of course we would love, or a $50,000 gift, which we would love. But any anyone.
And I think that's
can
a
make-
misperception.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think if you're sitting there today, yes, would we love $50,000? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I do believe that, you know, what I am learning is that any amount counts. You could call the college tomorrow and make a $5 donation to a book scholarship that's already created. You don't have to name it after yourself. You don't have to have a certain amount of money before it can be awarded to a student. It can be a simple $5 gift to the college, and you know, you would have a part in helping a student financially afford college. And I think that's important.
Right.
That it doesn't, you know, you can give whatever you're able to give.
Right. But the other part of it is I've seen scholarships in the 8 years that I've been at the college established for just $500 a year.
Yes.
And they're in a person's name, and they, you know, they've created parameters around them to
Yes.
help a certain student, like a single mother or, you know, a single parent, or, you know, there are all kinds of things
Yes.
that folks have created, and it's not over the top,
Right.
expensive wise.
And I think the opportunities are endless. I mean, if
Right.
you are interested in participating in any kind of gift towards the campus, we will find a way to meet what your passion is. Either it's helping students, or maybe you are an environmentalist with the wetland project on campus, or if you are big in technology, we have a lot of renovation that needs to happen in our classrooms. There are many ways to give a gift to the college.
Right.
And helping students, like you said, is one of the best ways, because you're giving back to the community in
Right.
a sense, and it can be done on any level. $500 is the smallest scholarship that you can name after someone at our campus. So there is an opportunity to make a memorial fund, or
Yeah.
you know, for a family member, but you do not have to be a corporation to create a scholarship.
Yeah, I think that for me, that was something that I learned at the college, and I thought was really special. So I think that that's really neat. Talk a little bit about some of the projects, like the wetlands and those sort of things that are, I know the community garden is a project
Yes.
that you're working on right now.
Our community garden is a service learning project. So the campus students are involved in it, as well as elementary schools are involved in the project. It is able to sustain itself through many grants that are given through the Health Foundation, through Duke Energy. And it's an opportunity for people to come out and learn about how we can produce our own food and how we can live off of that. And the elementary school students work hand in hand with the college students, so it's a very neat project. And then also on campus, we have a wetlands project that we're working on, and we're restoring a piece of land on campus to its natural state. And that's in the works, and there's 3 different phases for that, as well as the walking path that is going to be established to create sidewalks to connect all the campuses, and then that's another health initiative.
Well, that's fantastic.
It is.
Well, Dana, I know our time has gone by really fast, but I really
has.
wanted you to come on the show today so we could, first of all, introduce you to the community, to those who haven't met you yet, and then also to hear about the great scholarships and the work that you're doing on behalf of our students that really need the support and want the support. So we're really happy to have you there and working with us. So
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on College Connection, and I hope you stay tuned, because I have Ryan Hall, who will be on next, talking about some interesting information about advising for students. Hi, welcome back to College Connection, and thanks for joining us again. My name is May Hanna, and I'm your host, and I'd like to introduce you to Ryan Hall, our Director of Advising and Registration at UC Claremont College. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So happy to have you back. I think you were on this show a couple of years ago.
Several years ago, promoting our Claremont College's open house.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was a big success.
That's right. So you're an old pro.
Some might say. That's right. And I just have to say you do a great job with the show and showcasing the college.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Ryan. I appreciate that. Would you share with the viewers what someone does that's a director of advising? Because it's a big job in registration at the college. We have about 4,000 students on campus, and so you're responsible for a lot of people that walk through that door. So Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Sure. My role, I have three main roles: advising, registration, and the testing center. Specifically with advising, we oversee the faculty and staff advisors. And when we think of advising, we think of academic advising, such that if students that are interested in a certain program, they go see their academic advisor. They want to know if they can transition to a different program, they go see their academic advisor. Their academic advisor is essentially right there with them once they get through started orientation through graduation. Or if they want to transition, some of our students transition down to the Clifton campus. That's where our advisors work with them as well, so they stay on track, they make progress toward their degree, they do not take classes that they do not need to take, and they help them with their academic success in that capacity.
And that's important because I know students that's an area where they could really get upset or frustrated, and who wouldn't?
Sure.
If they start taking classes they don't need to take, and we want them to be successful in the shortest amount of time possible, and then move on to main campus to get their four-year degree or finish on with us. And
Yes, that is correct.
So
that is correct, because there's a lot to curriculum and understanding your program successfully, which is okay, and that's why we have advisors. And you go see your advisor, and it's no cost, no additional cost. And for that exact reason, May, that you mentioned, that we want to make sure that students get out and graduate at the appropriate time, and whether they transition to Clifton or if they stay with us with several of our four-year programs at Claremont College as well, as long as they meet and attain their educational goals in that capacity, we help them as best as we can.
So are there different kinds of advising and advisors on campus?
Yeah, I oversee academic advising, help the students with their program and towards graduation or transition. There's other advisors as well. We have financial aid advisors, we have enrollment advisors who help prospective students when they're coming in. We have career services advising, we have disability services advising and assistance. We have a Veterans Affairs program that work with our veterans for veterans advising. So, and in developmental education, we have program related to that, to those students who might test into preparatory English or math, or maybe require some additional courses. I know myself, when I went to college, I worked with some advisors in that capacity to help you with a little bit with your pre-course work. So I'd like to, all colleges have it, but I'd like to say that I'm biased towards UC Claremont. We do a tremendous job. Our advising team across the board does a great job working with our students to service their needs as an open access institution.
Well, that's great. And tell our viewers what open access means.
Open access means that we can accept students with a high school diploma or equivalent. We do not require SAT or ACT, no entrance exams, no essays. So there's essentially no barriers to admission to the college. Now there's certain courses like math or English, if you want to take that, we want you to take a placement test that helps you assess where your level of success is for those courses. But we'll take anyone, whether you are graduating this spring or you've been out of school for 20 years. Our doors are open for all variety of students, and that's why I like Claremont College, frankly, is it has a lot of variety and it meets the needs of the region very well, I think, in that capacity.
That's a great way to put it, because I know that people hear the words open access, but they might not understand, so you explained it very well to the viewers. What about advising services for students who are undecided in majors? Tell us a little bit about that. How do you prep a student like that?
That's a great question. And first off, I want to say to the viewers that it's okay to be undecided. And that's a great thing about going to college, is essentially you are exposed to other areas that you may not be aware of, and it might ignite your passion for something that you might not have been aware of. UC has an exploratory studies program, and when I say we, our Claremont campus colleagues have worked with UC Clifton colleagues on developing that model at Claremont. And essentially that program, if you're undecided, right away will sign you up for an exploratory studies class, and in that class you'll be introduced to a variety of guest speakers, for instance, program-related guest speakers. So one week we might have a nursing advisor come in, the next week we might have a business advisor come in, an education advisor, and essentially what they'll do is tell us a little bit about the program, a little bit about what the outcomes might be of the different majors, and a chance for the students to ask questions. And so they get exposed to a lot of the different programs in a very casual environment, that they're not forced to make a decision right away, and all along they're taking assessments, personal inventories. We have them meet with our career counseling on campus to help them understand what potential industries or areas of business or industry that might be a good fit for their skill set. So it's a 15-week long term, and it's a tremendous way to help our students really understand all sorts of different majors, and to say it's okay to take your time. You don't have to declare right away, and you can even change your major, and that's where advisors come in to help you find that right spot.
I always say this, every time I do this show, I learn something new about the college. I didn't realize in that class that you had folks from different program areas that came in and talked to the students. So that's fantastic.
I agree with you. I think that's the real benefit of that program, is that you will have someone in that, a faculty member in that program, that will give you the lowdown and the skinny of what it is, and whether it's the things that people may not have thought about related to a career. Like nursing, you have to be on your feet a lot. You might work irregular hours. You may deal with emotions and other functions that you may not be comfortable with. So they really get into the nitty gritty, and they get a chance to ask the questions right there. And instead of kind of them going to see the advisors, we bring the advisors to them in that capacity. And then we have assignments related to that, so they can reflect on what they've heard and maybe how they might apply it to their career goals.
That's great. For a student who's undecided, I mean, it's fantastic for them to come in and have that, and then they probably feel like they can really focus in on something that fits who they are and, as you said, their skill set.
I agree, and the second part of that is they form a nice group too. So they're in there with other undecided students, and they form a special bond, and it's really exciting to see that as they evolve from the first week they're quiet to the end of the term when they're really, I don't want to say overly confident, but you can see that progress where they've grown in confidence, I should say, and they're very comfortable and very excited about the path that they've got ahead of them.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. I'm going to shift gears for a minute. This past fall, I understand that you presented at the National Academic Advising Association and their national conference. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's been beneficial for you and for the college.
Okay. Well, as May mentioned, it's a National Advising Administration conference that thousands of people across the nation and the world attend. And I was fortunate to be able to go. We had 3 proposals accepted, and mainly we focused on developing advisors. And one of them was, I'm a new advising director, now what? And I worked with a colleague, her name is Terry, who used to work with UC Claremont but now works at George Mason. And the reason why we did this is because advising is our passion, and a great way to influence students through advising is to develop your advisors, is to make sure your advisors are supported, make sure that they've got the resources they need. And what we realized was oftentimes, and especially when times are lean, you don't maybe receive a whole lot of training as a director level. You're just kind of plopped in and you're left on your own. And what we decided to do was kind of put together a how-to of how, if you're charged with stepping into a director role, how to succeed effectively and what to avoid, what not to, because ultimately at the end of the day, your success rests with your advisors and the students. And you want to develop your advisors to the point where they're meeting your students' needs, exceeding their needs. And it's great for us as an institution, UC Claremont, because it recognizes us being accepted. Only about 1/3 of the proposals were accepted over probably hundreds of thousands. So it validates that we're working hard, we're constantly trying to tweak and make things better for our students, and it validates for us that we are doing a nice job, and it's a testament to our entire faculty and staff of advisors that we're working together for the students. And it was a nice showcase for us, and it was good to have people from California or Dallas or New York or Boston or UNLV come up and talk to you about your approaches. And I think it really foreshadowed, I think, a great outcome in terms of our ability to meet the needs of our students.
That's fantastic. And it's also saying that, that you have some best practices that you're deploying at UC Claremont and sharing that with folks around the country. So I know that must be very gratifying for you. Yeah,
I agree. And for myself and my team, we work very hard, and for that reason, for the students, and to be able to be recognized is a tremendous honor, and to be able to represent UC Claremont at that level and in that capacity is a tremendous honor.
Well, that's fantastic. fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, so it's been a busy year for you. In February, you had an article titled "I'm a New Advisor, Now What?" published in the same organization. It's Nikata?
Nikata, tomato.
It sounds like cicada.
That's right.
Nikata.
Either way, depending on which region you're from.
Got it. They're quarterly e-journals. So tell us a little bit about that article and how it relates to your role at Claremont College.
In addition to overseeing advising, part of my charge and what I like to do is make sure that we're a step ahead of the needs of the students. And so I do some research through the Nikata journals and other educational quarterlies. And
So Nikata for you.
Nikata for me, yes, Nikata for me. Maybe today. If I'm in New Jersey, it might be Nikata, who knows. So I do some research in that capacity, and in fact, our presentation at the national conference was selected. When I say our, Terry Slick and I, she used to work at UC Claremont, now at George Mason, we were invited to publish what we were presenting on. I'm a new advising director, now what? And that was a tremendous experience for us because it's good to present, but only so many can attend your session. Here, this is in print, and it's out there, so everyone can see it, and we share our good word and our good outcomes with our students and our audience. So it means a lot to us to be able to extend our success beyond our walls and beyond, so that we can share our success stories with other colleagues at other colleges and universities.
Well, that's great. It's been a good year for you as far as being able to share those kind of things. I can't believe our time is almost up. Just really quick, what advice would you give to students who may either be looking to attend college next year or currently in college now?
I think first off is to enjoy yourself. Whether you're a returning student, been out for 20, 30 years, coming back, your kids are finally off, graduated, or you're 18 years old, traditional, just enjoy yourself. The second advice is make use of your resources, whether it be academic advising, financial aid advising, career services. If you want to get involved with a club or activity, that's why they're there. And many of them do not cost anything extra. If they do, it's a nominal fee. I think the third is just make sure while you're maintaining your resources, be true to yourself. Sometimes people will tell you what majors to major in, but follow your passion, and ideally it'll help you follow your dreams as well.
Well, that is wonderful advice, Ryan. I so appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing this piece of expertise that you have in advising. It's such an important component, and you have such a unique perspective on it. So thank you for coming out today.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. And on behalf of Anderson Community Television and UC Claremont College, we thank you for joining us, and we hope that you tune in and support us and the station. And until next time, my name is May Hanna.